Have you heard about Global Poker? Global Poker is the fastest growing card room in the US today, and it's available online at globalpoker.com. Global Poker is a social poker site that offers safe and secure cash-out options by using their unique and patented sweepstakes model. Players can compete in big guaranteed tournaments, jackpot sit-and-goes, or cash games featuring Hold'em, Omaha, and even Crazy Pineapple. Don't wait. Check out Global Poker today.
Poker Stories is an audio series that features casual interviews with some of the game's best players and personalities. Each episode highlights a well-known figure in the poker world and dives deep into their favorite tales both on and off the feld.
Hello and welcome to Poker Stories, a podcast brought to you by Card Player, the Poker Authority, and hosted by me, Julio Rodriguez. This is episode number 61, featuring two-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner Steve Sung. Now, Steve is 33, about to turn 34. Happy birthday, Steve. And he has just under $6 million in career live tournament earnings. But that really doesn't even scratch the surface of what this guy has won and lost since he turned pro in 2006. In this episode, you'll hear about $1 million sessions and also about the times he would win big in poker before losing it all later that night in the pits. Steve was also very open about his struggles with drugs and how he has since turned his life around after getting clean. Steve had a couple of six-figure scores in 2017 and then made the final table of the WPT Gardens Poker Festival before winning the Windfall Classic in 2018. Steve and I recorded this interview a few weeks ago on the night before his latest final table, which was at the $10,000 buy-in WPT Gardens Poker Championship. And if you listen to the end of this podcast, I will let you know how he finished. Anyway, that's enough intro. Here's my conversation with Steve Sung. Steve, how you doing?
Doing good. What's up with you?
I'm good. You're even better. You're here to win a lot of money. We're here in Vegas on the eve of your World Poker Tour final table. Something you've probably experienced a lot, but not like this.
Yeah, it's been a little over 10 years since I made a WPT final table. So a lot has changed since then. Like, I didn't realize how big of a thing this was. I mean, I got more publicity out of this than winning a WSOP 25K six-handed, six-max. So I was just like, whoa, all right, this must be a big thing, you know?
When they first made the announcement, it got a lot of pushback, but they definitely rolled out the red carpet for you guys, at least initially. Make you feel good.
No, I appreciate the suite that the WPT gave us, you know? I didn't expect the room to be this big, so, you know, I like it.
Yeah, the Luxor's got some quality rooms up here. Some decent views. We're pretty high up. Let's go back to the beginning. Talk about you from the start. 1985. You're born in Seoul, South Korea. What do you remember from your time in South Korea?
Well, let's see. I lived there for 7 years, and I have pretty vivid memories. Let me see.
What about family, brothers, sisters, anything like that?
I have one brother. I have one sister, and that's about it. I have all my cousins that are still living there that didn't get to see it that much over the years. I remember walking around in the streets, just like roaming around as like a 5-year-old by myself.
Really?
Yeah, by myself, like getting chicken kebabs, and it was a lot of fun.
Did you live in like an inner city, or the suburbs, or?
Yeah, it was inner city. My mom had a pharmacy, you know, and everything was so close. It's all walking distance. I was never like really in a car.
Yeah.
You know, they have a subway system over there. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I remember it was a lot of fun, but it was a little weird because even as a little kid, I was just like thinking about it. I was like visualizing like the U.S. I was thinking, man, everybody here looks alike. Mm-hmm. It felt weird to me. I'm like, damn, everyone looks alike. Like I started thinking that when I saw different kind of like looking people on TV. I was like, I want to experience that. And like 6 months later, like my dad said, we're moving to U.S.
Yeah, this is the early '90s. And what was he doing at the time?
He was working at a steel company and he got transferred over here. And
so this wasn't a hey, let's go make a new life for ourselves kind of situation.
No, it was kind of like he had to go. You know, he had to go. He told us, you know, we're gonna go there for either for 3 years or 5 years max. That's what the contract is for this, for this transfer. So my mom had to quit her work. We had to shut down the business.
Yeah.
And then come to a whole new country. And
did anybody speak English?
Nobody spoke English. And the funny thing about that is that, so we had 6 months till we moved here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they hired, I remember I was in first grade. Like, I was about to turn first grade in Korea. And I was like so excited.
Which is, for those that don't know, 5th grade in the U.S.
Exactly. math-wise, right? And then the funny thing is, they hired a tutor for us to learn English, right? Mm-hmm. And we're like, me and my sister, we're like, just memorizing all the words.
Is she older or younger?
2 years older.
Mm-hmm.
So like, we're trying to memorize all the words and try to learn as fast as we could. And we moved 6 months later, but we were learning from this lady that taught us all the English that she knew, but not knowing that I was being taught the wrong way.
Oh yeah?
Like, say water, they called it wata, right? So like in 2nd grade when I moved here, my teacher kept saying, "Steve, go drink some water." I'm looking at her in my mind in Korean. I'm like, what? I was like, what is this bitch telling me right now? Like, what is she saying? Right? I'm like, what the fuck is the old lady saying to me? Right? Mm-hmm. Water. And then like one day after like 10 months, I go, oh my god, that other tutor was teaching me the wrong way. Mm-hmm. It was water is water. And I started just like smoothing out everything she taught me, and then I became fluent like in a week.
The whole language clicked for you.
Yeah, I was fluent in like a week.
I know. Like the pronunciation of words is very key for a lot of the Asian languages. The same word could be spelled. The word could be spelled the same way 4 different ways and pronounced differently and mean 4 different things. So that's gotta be weird, especially coming to the U.S. where everyone has a different accent and way of saying. I mean, what if you had moved to Boston and had to deal with that same water? What do they say?
Water. I would have done way better over there, actually. She was trying. I think maybe she was from Boston. Who knows, right?
Or Chicago or something like that. So where do you land? Where does the family go to first?
We land in Torrance.
Okay, so that
Torrance,
basically
California.
You never left.
I basically never left. I went back and forth, and I didn't really leave. And I enjoy Torrance. It's a very laid back area, Mm-hmm. I lived in Houston for a couple years, where my buddy over there, who we used to do Olympic training taekwondo with, right? And that was good. That was fun times. But mostly in Torrance, San Diego for a couple years for college too.
Well, before we get to UCSD, what were you getting into in Torrance? Like, were you a skateboarder, surfer?
I tried to get into skating. I wanted to play hockey. Never got into surfing. I played a lot of basketball. I was like, that was the first thing actually. When I was in school, I saw kids playing basketball. I knew no English, and I'm like, what is this? Like,
yeah.
We knew baseball. Like, I was really into baseball from Korea. I never saw basketball in my life. I started playing it, and I fell in love with it right away. We played tetherball back then. I don't know if you remember tetherball.
I remember tetherball.
That shit was fun, right? And
tall kids always had that advantage.
It's like, I know you couldn't block it.
You have to spike it over their heads to get that right angle,
And pretty much basketball. I got into like basketball cards, which I recently just got back into, which is a lot of fun.
Basketball cards?
Basketball cards.
Like collecting cards?
Collecting and selling cards on eBay and stuff.
Because you and I are about the same age, and we were in that sweet spot of 80s kids who loved trading cards, you know what I mean?
Trading cards and Pogs. I don't know if you were into Pogs.
Of course.
But I only had a year of that. Slammers.
The toppers. You had some spinners on there.
Oh my goodness.
I had some scratch and sniff Pogs.
I bet you had better Pogs and Slammers than me, for sure. Like I had to steal quarters from my parents to buy those.
You didn't play for keeps with your friends?
No, not then. Yeah, I didn't want to gamble that.
I remember spending all of my allowance in those card shops and buying Pogs and cards. Mostly baseball back then, but you were into basketball, huh?
Basketball and baseball. Mm-hmm. And so I was really into that for a while.
Man, that was a business that kind of dried up.
It's back up now.
Really?
It's been back. Yeah, it's really hot now.
Wow,
I just got into it like 6 months ago.
I know what's the holy grail is the Honus Wagner baseball card.
Still is. Right? How about this? The Honus Wagner, I think it was like in '96, in '97-ish when PSA was really popular. When people started grading cards. Mm-hmm. At the time, I remember a PSA 10, the gem mint was like 180,000 something. Now it's just sold for, I believe, it could be wrong, like 10 to 15 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
incredible. What was the jewel of your collection? Or did you have a few?
I didn't. I was so young. It was a Shaquille O'Neal rookie beam team, Stadiums Club. I don't know if anyone knows that. And yeah.
He had those magic stripes on.
You remember those?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The magic stripes. All right. So you know about the cards. All right.
Did he have the Shaqnosis shoes on back then?
Say it again.
The Shaqnosis shoes. You remember they were like black and white, like they looked kind of like a hypnosis ring, and they were ugly, but everyone had them back.
Oh
in the day.
yeah, I did have that. Oh yeah, I know you're talking about. I had that shoe. Yeah, and the Shaq pumps. One of my favorite first shoes.
Oh yeah, man.
Shaq was I think he was my favorite player when I first started watching basketball for some reason.
So you're into cards, into pogs. What you said?
I was also into wrestling.
Okay, wrestling.
I was really into wrestling.
But like fake wrestling?
Fake wrestling to a point where I had my own
Still
website.
real to me.
My old website is still online. Like,
do you want to give it a shout out, or is it too embarrassing?
I'm trying to remember how to type it. All right, fuck it. I mean, whatever, right? Members.tripod.com/ that squiggly line Sungs SUNGS. Click on that. My last update was like January 4th, 1999.
And this was just your musings on the world of WWF?
I was so into WWF, WCW that, I mean, there's a bunch of copyright infringements on that site. Like I was like 13 years old.
WWE now?
WWE, yeah. And then like, yeah, if you check out the website, I mean, back then, that's pretty good for back then. Like
I went to a show in Miami, Florida with Tito Santana and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I don't know if you remember him. He had like big like hedge clippers. He'd come out, and then there was who was the Jimmy, Superfly, Snuka. Who are your guys?
Well, when did you go to this event?
I was probably sick. I was probably early '90s.
Okay,
right when you were coming to the.
Like I started watching it like mid '90s, like 96.
You were a teenager, right?
I was like a teenager. Like I was in middle school.
Yeah, I was over it by then.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I think there was a big pocket of kids in my high school though who loved wrestling. A lot of the basketball team, believe it or not. So that was
people. I mean, it's amazing how there's a lot of adults that are really into wrestling.
But that was
still.
like the Stone Cold years and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right?
The Rock when Rock first came out.
Yeah.
Sting, the big DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. Yeah, those were the days, man.
After the Hart brother died.
I'll tell you a funny story. It was a 7th grade birthday party, right? My birthday thing, my parents would never spend money like that to buy a pay-per-view for me. But like for my birthday, they were gonna pay for this pay-per-view, and I had a bunch of friends come in, and we're about to watch it, and then the pay-per-view wouldn't work.
Oh my god!
And I was so pissed. I started crying, and what happened was, we ended up gambling 7-card stud with quarters or something, and then I was like, I enjoyed it so much. But
really, was that the first poker game you played?
Oh, it's okay. That might have been. No, because I watched my dad play 7-card stud. That's what really got me into it, and yeah, and then like.
So like, dad saved the day basically. Like the party's going to shit. The $60 pay-per-view is down the drain.
Not work. I'm in my own room. I'm like all crying. I'm like, dude, this is fucking bullshit. Like, you know. And then like they're like, hey, come, let's play cards.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let's play. They won't play.
Gives you some credit at school.
Credits at school. That's funny because like during like middle school, what I remember is I always had money on me. I don't know how I did, but I used to gamble in high school. That's how I had money. But before that, I would always have money. Maybe because I saved. Not sure.
Did you have any odd jobs?
Oh, I had basketball cards. That's what it was. No, I mean, I worked at In-N-Out for a couple months, when I was 16.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Have a question about jobs later in the podcast. All right, so you're in Torrance. You're doing the high school thing. Good grades? Medium grades?
I had good grades, but I always procrastinated. I did good copying from the right people, right? Like, no, because I had to keep my grades up for my parents, because my mom is like a freaking scholar, and me and my sister, we were drawing dead to being at her standards, right?
I mean, was the stereotypical Asian parent pressure real in your household?
But but not so much. When I was younger, yeah. When I was like, when we first moved to the U.S., yes, because they were like ramping up on math and ramping up on English, like nonstop tutoring. It was crazy. But after that, it was just like, we pretty much did whatever we wanted.
They realized you were already ahead.
Yeah, and then we kind of got burned out. Like, I got burned out from math, by when I was in 9th grade, because I was already like in 11th, 12th grade math,
Mm-hmm.
and like I lost passion for it,
Yeah.
like complete passion, and I was into gambling, playing cards, playing Pasoi, these Asian games.
What's Pasoi?
It's a deuce is the highest card. I don't know if you ever played that.
No.
They didn't play that in Florida.
No, we
didn't have much Asians over
we
there.
didn't really. No, trust me. My Asian world was opened up when I moved to Las Vegas, and I got on Spring Mountain and got to try all the different culture out there. Before that, it was P.F. Chang's, literally, in Miami. Now it's better over there, but yeah, I had no culture. We used to gamble, like, throwing quarters against the wall, like, stuff like that, like, try to get it closest, stuff.
Craps? You guys ever play craps?
We weren't even
dominoes and stuff like that?
enough to do that.
See, that's what we play a lot in high school, too. We had a couple guys that would come and, challenge us in craps and dominoes. But mostly we played this Asian game. First, when I was in 9th grade in Texas, we played a game called VC. Vietnamese cards, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, David was one of the first people that helped me with that game. he was really good. Really good. He's the one that got me started in that game. And then...
He's the reason why we're in this hotel room right now.
There's partially, yes. It's true. It's true. And then when I moved back to Torrance, we're playing Pasoi. It was a Filipino version. And, I got really good at that game. And nobody will play against me, I'll be sitting by myself at the table, basically in poker, and just that's what that was. And that's actually what got me into Chinese poker, like before OFC. And by the time when I was like 21, should you fast forward for a second about that?
Let's fast forward.
When I was 21, before I did any tournament winnings, like I was known as that guy who would challenge anybody at Chinese poker for the highest amount. I was that kid, right?
This is when people were playing high or high low high.
High low high. Mm-hmm. And then like I almost got into a fight with Phil Helmuth one day when I was 21 because he's like, kid, no action with you. I go, what do you mean no action with me? I'm in this game because of you. He goes, no action. I'm like, is this legal? Like I was 21. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then like, yeah, it got into an argument. But whatever, Phil's good. Phil's cool, huh?
Phil. I mean,
Phil didn't want to play with me.
You got to get him trapped on a plane, from what I hear. Then he'll just play all night.
I mean, after a couple years, like we got cool and we're playing like like privately, me and him, and yeah. But at first, Phil is one of those guys, man. Like he has that shell, but once you get to know him, he's a real nice guy. Mm-hmm. He's a really really nice guy.
You have to be on his team.
You have to be on his team, exactly. Yeah. And when you're on his team, he starts rapping and like he's a very funny guy.
But you were drawn to gambling early.
Yeah, 7 years old. Mm-hmm. It was almost like I couldn't wait when I was like 7, 8. I couldn't wait till I was older. Like I was like frustrated. I was so young. I wanted to gamble. Like I was like I wanted to like I had that urge. But so when in high school when I was about to turn 18, I was so excited because like a bunch of my Pasoi friends, the high stakes Pasoi friends. We would, from different schools and stuff, we would plan out to go to the Morongo, which was 18 and over by Palm Springs ish. And yeah, we were playing a lot of limit poker back then, limit hold'em, and
so you were into poker. That's even before the boom a little bit, right?
That was a couple months before the boom.
Yeah,
because I was playing at the Morongo, and then the whole moneymaker was showing.
Yeah,
I was like, oh sweet, like. This is a good thing, for poker. I was like, this is a really good thing, and then
because most people our age just saw rounders or something, and that was it, But you were like, no, I'm in this at 7 years old.
I mean, I was into gambling at 7. Yeah. But actually, a buddy of mine was the one that said, so we're playing 7-card stud, right? Before we turned 18, and then one of my buddy goes, hey, you ever heard of a movie called Rounders? We're like, what's that? You ever heard of No Limit Hold'em? I'm like, what's that?
What's
right?
That?
We watched the movie, and then we're like, we're in it.
Yeah, that's it. So you go to UCSD with the idea of studying computer engineering and economics. How long did that last?
Computer science. It was computer science. I went to my first class of computer science. They were like talking about Java, and I looked around and I saw people that looked very focused with this kind of stuff, and I said I'm out because I was into poker. I was like, dude, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then I changed it to management science, which I just tried to get out of college as soon as possible. I couldn't wait to play WPTs. That's what that was. I was trying to figure out ways to play those party poker cruises back then.
The Party Poker Million, yeah.
Party Poker
and
Million.
You get the 18.
Was it 18 back then?
Or maybe it was 19?
I think it was older because, I mean, maybe not. I could be wrong.
I can't remember. Obviously, there was only a few 18 and up tour stops
Maybe
back
Aruba.
then. Aruba, and I think there was one in Turks and Caicos, but you were already 21 by then.
Yeah. So the ones that I wanted to play, I think you're probably right because I might have got the wrong information back then, but I thought I had to be 21, so I tried to get a fake ID, got a crappy fake ID, and didn't try the fake ID thing again, right? And I pretty much just waited. But in college, man,
I wouldn't play a 10K on a fake ID.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem very smart.
Okay, you know what?
When you win, they're like, "Let's see your socials."
I could talk about this, man. God rest his soul, Ryan Young, right? I give him a shout out, right?
Rest in peace, Ryan.
God rest his soul, and I made friends with him on Party Poker. We're playing $200 sit and goes. Back then I was 18, 19. Back then he was Max Bluffer. I was Muggylicious, I think. There was Z's Justin Bonomo, Phil Gelfine was J-Man. We got, Jonathan Little, Jay Carshark. We were all playing all the time, right? And then I saw this guy, Max Bluffer, Ryan Young. It says Torrance. I was like, oh, the Party Poker chat. I was like, hey, you from Torrance? You know this person? And then we're talking, and then we got cool, and then we're talking on AIM at the time. And he said, hey, he was a year older than me, and so he was like 19, 20. He's like, hey, I'm gonna go play this tournament in the Vegas, and then I was like, how are you gonna play? He's like, I'm my brother's ID. I was like, it's gonna work? Yeah, he looks just like me. So I'm like, and then he final tables it. He got heads up. It was on like Channel 9. This tournament that they used to have, like $1,000, and I forgot what it was called. But so I would watch him. I'm like, man, this guy's like 19, 20. I'm like, I want to do this too. I'm like,
that's crazy. So Ryan Young, a bracelet winner, if I remember correctly, right?
2007.
Died in a car accident a few years back. Sad story. So there's results for his brother out there that are actually his. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Man, God rest his soul. But that got me really pumped up. Before I turned 21, I was like, man,
so like if
I want to do what Ryan does now. Like, I was getting the itch.
There was like an 18-year-old in my college who was staking grown men, I remember. He was winning online, but he couldn't play. So he was just shipping out 10K buy-ins to people to play the WPTs.
I would have so done that if I knew that, Mm-hmm. He's more of a businessman right there.
So you drop out. You tell your parents.
I had a quarter left.
That's it?
This is a funny story because
I assumed you made it a year.
It was a quarter left, right? How about this? Actually, I was so involved with poker that I was taking the wrong classes for like a whole year. I was like taking unnecessary classes, right?
They're like, are you triple majoring?
Yeah, I was just like, wait. I was like, fuck. I was like, man, I wasn't even paying attention to what I needed to take. I was so involved. I was like so consumed with poker. And then so there was this writing class that I had to do. And then you have to read this book. I don't like to read books, and I want to get to what I like to read books. I'll get there still now, but at the time especially, I didn't like to read books, and I was about to turn 21. I'm playing at Commerce. I'm driving from San Diego to Commerce. Like, that's a long drive. Underage, right? Like playing 40, 80, like whatever, risking a lot of my bankroll, just like swinging crazy, trying to practice.
You're not gonna read a textbook.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read a textbook. I'm not gonna go do a presentation, right? So, but then, I was part of a fraternity, Sigma Nu, right? And we had a big sis, like we're assigned with like a sorority. She was a big sis, and I was talking to her about it. She's like, I'll take the class for you. I'll do the presentation. I was like, sweet, like how much for me to pay you, right? Because I was like, I thought at the time, I was offering people $3,000 for a C, $4,000 for a B, and $5,000 for A, right, for each class.
Oh my God, I would have made best friends with you in college.
Because I wanted to get the fuck out of school. I wanted to graduate to let my parents know I graduated, right?
Yeah.
So she said she's gonna take it, and I was like, all right, whatever. I'm playing online all day and not going to any of my classes, and like a couple days, like a week before, a little less than a week before, because a week before you're able to drop your classes and you're fine, right? But it was right after that was done, and then I can't get a hold of her. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Are you ready? Did you do the project? Are you ready to? She's not picking my phone. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, dude, she's dodging me. I go over to her place randomly, and then her roommate opens the door. She's like, I was like, whatever her name is. She's like, she's not here. I see her. Why? I see her running. I was like, I saw right there. Right? I saw you. What do you mean she's not here? I was like, oh, I see how it is. And then, like I took it kind of hard at the time. I feel bad about that. But so after
I
that,
feel bad about that. She stole your money.
Yeah, I mean, but I didn't pay her. I offered that, but she said I'll do it for free. And then like, what is it? And then so basically I couldn't drop the class. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a leave.
Yeah.
Take a leave. I took a leave and never went back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking your parents' hearts.
I mean, thank God my dad was in Korea at the time. Because he was transferred back to Korea for a while. So like, like I didn't have to deal with that. But my mom, my mom was, of course, she was she was pretty upset. She was very disappointed about that. But I know one thing about my parents, that whatever I do, like they trust that I'll figure it out. They don't trust that I figure it out. So, I got that vibe from them. So yeah.
So you leave college in 2006. You're playing online, Muggylicious. You kind of had a breakout in December of 2006. You took third in a Bellagio 5K for 125 grand. A week later, you finished ninth in the main event for another 118 grand. So welcome to poker, right? There's $250,000 in your pocket.
Yeah. So the funny thing about that is, like, when I turned 21 in April of 2006, my first event that I played was a 25K Bellagio WPT Championships. I was second or third in chips in the last flight, and I bust out day 2, like pretty early. And that was a very heartbreaking for me moment, because that was like basically all my bankroll.
Yeah, you just showed up and put up 25K, or?
No, I played 8 or 9 single table satellites, and I blanked out of the first 7 and won the last 2. So I pretty much made my money back and the buy-in, which was really crucial, because I wouldn't have played if I didn't make it the last one. And I expected to do so well when I first came in. Like, I was like, okay, because in college we used to run poker games, right? These tournaments. It was very tough. It was tough rebuy tournaments that we had, $20 buy-ins, $10 buy-ins, and I would final table each one. Like, I thought I was good. I thought I was pretty good. I was good, but like I didn't know how good I was, or I didn't know how to gauge it. We're just playing poker, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I had good results. I was like, oh, that's why I wanted to play the WPTs. I was like, man, maybe I'll do well in the WPTs.
Yeah, you just figure it's the same game.
Yeah, like I'm doing well in the online sit and goes. I was like, maybe I'll do well. Who knows? And then by the time I played the WPT Championships, I was like, my confidence was really high with it. So I was like, man, I'm gonna kill it. Win 3.5-4 million the first year. That didn't happen, right? Like, for the first couple months, I didn't even cash, basically. Yeah. I didn't barely cash. I was like, man, rethinking my life. I was like,
well,
man.
I remember reading that you just weren't used to the deep structures.
Deep structures. I was getting impatient later on. Like, physically, I was like, man, this is different than an online tournament, or, like a couple day tournament. I was like, wow, these guys. I was like, how do these guys do it? Like, I was thinking, I was like, man, this is like, because when I first came in the scene, I was playing so crazy, raising every pot, right? And then I got burned out. I got tired. I was mentally and physically tired, and I wasn't ready for that. I was like, well, what is this?
Yeah.
I was so young. I didn't know what this was. I'm like,
to be locked in, patient for 5 days. That's basically what it takes to win a WPT.
Yeah, I had to, over time, I had to learn how to, pace myself, and, mentally, just everything. And yeah, by the end of the year, I had those 2 big cashes. Finally, I finally got third and final table the next one, which was heartbreaking. But I finally got my 2 big cashes. I was out. I was 21 still, and it was a really good feeling. Good way to end the year.
You had a few cashes the next year, made a few final tables, I should say, and then 2008 was gigantic.
So what happened with 07, 08 was, so after that ended 06, I did too well, and then at the time I was traveling with Danny Wong a lot, and we're like, Danny Wong, Ryan Young, and we're like, hey, Z Justin too, like, we're like, hey, like, let's just like play all the tournaments, just go to the whole circuits, all the circuit tournaments. That's what we're doing, and the results were not that good. I didn't realize I was getting burnt out. I didn't put that into consideration. I wasn't aware of that. And so 2008, I slowed down and played a couple tournaments, playing more cash games though. I was playing nosebleeds at the time, which was very headachy, right?
Yeah, well, they were saying online you're playing as high as 2K, 4K with like Durr and Patrick and who was it, like Hastings, Joanda, Gus Hansen, like whoever the hell was the crushing back then.
I was sitting by myself, 2 tabling those, 2 at 4,000, and just like
you just couldn't get enough. Were you trying to break the poker world in 1 year? What was your thinking?
So, say, for instance, it was September of 2008. I was like, by the end of this year, I should have like 20 million. That was literally. I was like, I could maybe lose a day or two a week, and then I'll have 20 million. Like that was like my.
You're doing
my goal.
the math. You're extrapolating it out. You're like 20 million.
20
seems
million.
like a reasonable.
And it wasn't like
nobody even had 20 million in career earnings back then.
Yeah, but that's how people were playing in these cash games, right? And then I'm just like. And then when I thought about 20 million, it wasn't like I'm gonna have 20 million, I could retire, I could start businesses. I was like, I'm at 20 million, so I could play a bigger game. Like it was like a recipe for disaster, complete.
So there was no part of you that was like ambitious, like just wanting to get out of poker. You just want to be the king of poker.
I wanted a complete takeover, and but there was an end goal. It wasn't like I was gonna play poker forever. That wasn't the thing. I was like, I wanted to make a big splash, and then I wanted to. Not just catapult, but like maybe go into use that to go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And whatever that would have been, you know? And that's still might happen in the future. I'll keep that quiet for now.
In 2008, you finished second in the Bay 101 Shooting Star. You made 2 WSOP final tables, and then you got 4th in the 5 Diamond at the end of the year for another 400,000. So there's that breakout year, I guess, if you don't want to count 06. But I also read, at that time that you had like drunk sessions online where you lost $1 million, like, and then that you still somehow profited on the trip, so you were experiencing some like crazy swings at a young age.
Like crazy swings, like for instance, those 2 WPT final tables you're talking about. I think I got like $500,000 for the Bay 101 and like 400,000 for the 5 Diamond.
Yeah.
I lost that in the pits like in a couple hours.
Really?
It was gone. Yeah, and more. Like for each one of
God.
those. So that was like a regular day, for instance, and it was I was experiencing many heartbreaks. That was us. I mean, for like a 23-year-old, that's like you don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
You're not taught what it's like to. I mean, the fact that I had such an intense or addictive personality, and I didn't know how to deal with that kind of stuff, right?
What was your game of choice? Just craps or
blackjack? Blackjack, craps I would lose every time, but blackjack was, man, there's a funny story. One time I blacked out. I had 1.2 million in a pencil case.
In a pencil case?
In a pencil case that I brought. There was a bunch of cranberries in there, Bellagio cranberries, which was a 25K
like
chips.
A plastic, or like a trapper
literally, I think I found one like that I had from middle school, and I was like, wait, I gotta find a way to put some chips in. It was a literally middle school pencil case, and there was a that I found somewhere in the storage, and then that was my that had a bunch of cranberries inside. When I blacked out the night before, and we went on a crazy run. But that was the beginning of 2008. So basically, after that, like I would play a lot of pits. So I would.
What was your biggest winning session versus losing session?
In what?
In pits.
That 1.2 mil, I guess, that night, and then biggest losing was 1.1 million. But that was a mixture of online poker and pits. So
yeah,
I had a lot of big like a 500K and up swing of losses in pits like in a short period of time, which was So I would suppress these emotions. What happened was, because I didn't know how to deal with it, I kind of suppressed it and kind of like nonchalant about it. But what up?
Yeah, you have to let it roll off your back and go, you know what? Poker will take care of me tomorrow. Or
poker came, that eventually you want to get to that. That's the level I want to get to. But I was like skipping the middle levels where fucking cry about it, fucking feel the emotions, get angry. But it was not. I was completely numb about it. Numb. And later on, when I started doing drugs, that would all just explode, and my life would turn upside down.
Yeah.
But I had to experience that to learn.
Yeah.
To grow as a person, right? And so.
What was the biggest problem? Drinking or just like tilt or?
I had real anger issues since I was a kid. I mean, even before I was born, it's from a different past life. Like I was born with a crazy amount of anger, rage that I had to hide because I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this?
That's crazy because I don't get that sense from you as a person in everyday life. I mean, some people might sense that from you at the tables.
Yeah.
But
They don't even sense at the table. Because
as far as the aggression in your play.
I had to learn how to control that since I was a kid. I was like, wow, if people see this side of me, then I will have no friends. That was what I decided as a child.
Wow.
So I never dealt with that.
That's pretty self-aware.
Yeah, because I was like, man, I'm fucked up. Like as a kid, I'm like, this is really fucked up. I'm like, wow, like I don't like this about myself. You know, I'm like, what do? I didn't know what to do.
Do you find you're still suppressing it, or is it just not there anymore?
No, I had a life coach, a healer that was able to bring a lot of that out and release it from me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how I healed. And I mean, there's still some in there. You know, there's still some in there, but not as much as before. But it's also called. It's like a Korean thing. I've been hearing the past couple of years. It's called Han HAN.
Han.
Like I saw some YouTube video about this guy David Cho was talking about that. He's like the Facebook mural guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And he was talking. I saw one of his I think it was Anthony Bourdain, God rest his soul. It was one of his episodes with David Cho. He was talking about the Korean Han, this repression thing, because we were a repressed nation back in the day and this and that. And
you're not allowed to show emotions, so you're all just boiling beneath the surface.
You gotta hide everything.
Yeah.
I think in Korea, that's the culture, and showing emotion is a bad thing.
Yeah.
So which is horrible that you're taught that. That's like you know what I mean? That's not what's supposed to be taught.
Yeah.
But that's what they're still. I think they're still being raised like that over there. You know, I think I'm not really sure.
There's people being raised
Hopefully
like that
not.
here.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Yeah, true that. Yeah.
You know, a lot of people men especially, are taught never show emotion. So
yeah,
you can't cry off a $1.2 million pit loss, but you can go in 09 and win your first bracelet.
First bracelet, paranoid.
What do you mean paranoid?
Let's just say that tournament.
There's a 1K no limit hold'em. You won it for $771,000.
I was paranoid. It was so that's when I first started. When I really started smoking weed a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And I got paranoid, and I'm like, "What is this?" I wasn't aware of this paranoid experience, right? I didn't know what this was.
So you get paranoid with it, huh?
I was so paranoid to a point where I was lost, mentally lost, and that was the time when I won that bracelet. So I'll tell you what, that bracelet, I have very negative associations to it.
Really?
Like
just because it takes you back to that time when you were. What were you worried about?
I was
it was
lost.
all gonna end, or
man, it was so many different things that
the cops are gonna get you.
all that, you know,
Yeah.
I was like, you know, like stuff that wasn't even real, stuff that your mind keeps telling you that's not real, and I was believing it. Like I was being ignorant about it. My ignorance made me really crazy, psycho crazy, right?
So why keep smoking? I mean, some people, they feel that the first time they never go back.
Addictive personality.
I guess so.
So I couldn't stop. I was smoking pounds a week,
Whoa.
literally, and I wasn't even paying. I was smoking someone else's weed, and then poker. Back then I'm like,
it's plentiful.
I felt so entitled that I'm just smoking everyone's weed, and then not.
Do you want to apologize to your drug dealer now?
Hey, I apologize to all my friends for smoking all your weed without, even asking for it, without.
Who's that comedian?
Thank you for it.
There's a comedian who has a joke like, "What's your favorite brand of a strain of weed?" And he's like, "Yours." Like, whatever yours is. I'll smoke yours.
So I would never pay for weed, right? And I would smoke pounds a week, literally. Didn't pay for one, and that messed me up.
Yeah.
I didn't, because we were taught that weed is okay, right? Weed can't kill you, but I didn't think about the mental part.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's it. That I could smoke as much as I want.
Well, weed also takes what you're feeling and makes it 10 times more intense. So if you're in a bad space, let's not mix it.
And I was in a bad place back then,
Mm-hmm.
I had
so
some
even
money
though you finally get the bracelet on, because you had a lot of close calls before that, you finally get the gold on your wrist, and you got $750,000. Even then, you can't enjoy it at that time.
I had a backing situation going on. That's when it started to. So,
you were backing other people, or
I was getting back.
Because I remember there was a story about you having a bad summer backing others, where I think you lost like $2 million or something crazy.
Yeah, back and then I did bad in the pits. Mm-hmm. Pits got me stuck, so I had to get back. So getting back and then winning a tournament like that, I think it was like 700 something, and getting. I can't say only because it's still a lot, but getting a partial of it didn't feel good.
Yeah.
From what I'm, because I was just used to like winning and losing like more like $500,000 a day, to I just won 7 something, but I'm getting 300. A payoff of makeup. I'm like, this sucks.
You have anger at yourself for being in the situation in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I resentment towards myself, and then the whole situation. I'm just like, and plus I was paranoid.
Yeah.
So it was the mixture of all that. It was, and so yeah. 2009 was a crazy year.
You also finished third in a 10K deuce for another 112,000 that summer. You've always had pretty good mixed game results. Was that something you concentrated on early on, or?
I did. The mixed game was something that like I wanted to be known as, like I wanted to be well rounded. Like I wanted to know all the games. I wanted to be the
because
best
back
at
then
every
nobody
game.
was jumping on mixed games. That didn't really happen until 11, 12.
Like I was playing at the Commerce when I was 20. They were playing 200, 400, 300, 600 Badugi triple draw. Like nobody was playing back then. Like that don't play that game.
Yeah.
I jump in. I literally learned on the spot losing.
Yeah, back then those are probably the people who invented the game who were playing it.
Literally, they invented the game. You can't find it online. You can't Wikipedia. You can't search for it. I'm just playing. I'm like, okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to ask him how to play. I'm not gonna ask him how do you play this game. So I'm watching it a little bit to see what's going on. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna jump in, and then like, it was nuts. And then that's why and then I always wanted to be good at every single game, and do the best that I could in every game. And that's why the mixed game results were good. I don't think I ever won a mixed game bracelet, right?
No, I think your other bracelet. Oh no, your other bracelet's in a mixed event, but I don't know if it's Hold'em.
No, they're both no limit.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought about it.
So in 2010, you final tabled the LAPC. You finished second in a mixed. Oh, that's the mixed event, the 2500 mixed event for 160K. But then you had a quiet stretch between 2011 and 2012. Only 5 cashes. Was this you?
I was going through so much.
So this wasn't you just going to Macau and disappearing for a while.
No, I went to space and I disappeared in space. I went to a different planet, different dimension, and I was gone.
This was a Black Friday problem, or just because?
No, mentally.
Yeah,
like drugs and just like I took a pair like.
You say drugs, like it's not just weed, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it wasn't just weed. Like ecstasy, mollies, those kind of stuff, shrooms. I was doing all kinds of prescription meds, all the, Xanax.
You think you were trying to? Well, I'm not going to be your psychologist, but do you think you were trying to numb the pain of losing those pit sessions?
Yes, no, not just that. I was trying to become the best version of myself, and I knew what my flaws were, and I was trying to fix them, self-medicating. Horrible idea.
I'll keep going. Sorry. Just wanted to check it real quick. Ugh. All right. So, we talked about the down swings. Talk about coming back up again. What was that process like?
I was really in a bad place, right? And I attracted a life coach, a healer from Hawaii named Ray Johnston, and he took me from a place. When he first met me in early 2012, I wasn't ready. I didn't want to live anymore. Pretty much, I was ready to go. I was literally I was so close to having Alzheimer's. That's how gone I was. I was forgetting everything, right? And he took me from that and to a point where I pretty much gave up.
Cloudy, like not all there.
I was in absolute paranoia, where I couldn't even leave my house. This was really bad. And he got me from that to winning a bracelet in a year.
Yeah.
25K. Like I won a 25K a year before that. I was at a place that I just told you where I was at. Mm-hmm. So, and the kind of work he does is miraculous, to say the least.
What was the big step for you? Well, obviously getting rid of all the substances.
It's quit. Let's just say I haven't touched. Let's just say weed is like the lightest of. It's not illicit anymore, but you know what I'm saying, like drugs, right? I haven't smoked since when I first worked with them, which was March of 2012. 7 years. It's been 7 years, right? And
congratulations. I don't know if you get a chip or anything for that, but
I mean,
you got a bracelet for it.
Yeah, some weed would be nice, right? That's a nice way to celebrate. But you know.
But basically, you took care of that. You leave the house. You know, get dressed, cut the fingernails.
I was able to leave the house now, right? I don't have to stay in the Norris anymore. Right?
And then come back, and then obviously 2013, you win 1.2 million, taking down that 25K at the World Series. Did that bracelet feel better?
That bracelet felt really good because it was against. At the time, that was like he was one of the top couple people that I really wanted to play heads up with and beat live, because I used to play with him a lot on Full Tilt, and we had big pots, you know, and you know he would have the best of me in a lot of the pots.
Who are you talking about?
Phil Galfond.
Okay. I was like, I don't have the list in front of me.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, Phil Galfond, and like I love playing with him, you know.
Well, you had played with him in
I played with him a lot.
Nosebleeds,
and so it's like, you know, I felt comfortable playing against him, and you know, I had a good time conversating with him at the thing, and you know, I just. Yeah, I felt like I had his number. You know, I had his number, and then that felt good, man. Felt good.
What about the actual bracelets? You still got them? Where do you keep them?
No, I gave them away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave them away.
Some people like to give them to friends and family. What did you do?
That's exactly what I did too.
Yeah.
You know, that one I gave to my coach Ray. You know what? He helped me so much that I said, I'm not even gonna touch this. I'm not gonna wear it. Like, I'm not gonna say I don't deserve, because you know I deserve to win, but I said this is yours.
Yeah. Because you won the tournament, but he got you there.
He got me there. Yeah. You know, like he saved my life.
Yeah.
He was sent from the universe to give me a second chance at life. He was a messenger. You know, I gave him that. The first one I gave to my mom. You know, and yeah, third one I think I might keep. I think it's time for me to keep one.
Yeah, you might keep one. I found an old 2+2 thread about you. I don't know if you've read this, but it's back from 2000. Let me get it exactly right. 2008. So right in the height of your, you know, playing everything, winning and losing everything. And I just want to read a couple of things, see how you react to them. Someone liked your Obama shirt. So you're making some political statements early on at some final tables. Somebody called you Steve Swung.
Steve Swung. Okay, that's a new one.
You like that one?
Yeah, that's
for all those ups and downs.
Okay, I like that. That's creative.
Somebody said, "I'm surprised to know he's a winner in these games. I figured the games were built around him."
You know, that's true too. That's true too. Yeah, I was causing a lot of craziness, but there was a what's the word? There's a method to the madness.
Yeah,
there was a method to the madness.
Well, I was about to say, because Shannon Shore, believe it or not, came to your defense in a thread. I don't know if you remember this. And he called you a sick player. Unbelievably intimidating table presence. Maybe the best all-around, all games considered, poker player under the age of 25 and behind Tom Dwan.
Wow, 25.
That's a while ago, right? Yeah. One of the very best in Nolan Hold'em tournaments at getting the thinnest value bets in. And then he says, "I'm drunk and I'm done giving out props." And then
that was Shannon?
Yeah. Which is ironic because you're at a final table with him happening tomorrow night.
You know, the funny thing about Shannon is that when I first got in the scene, like I told you, like I played the 25K, didn't do well at all. And that summer, I was rooming with Danny Wong because we knew each other from like high school, like Counter-Strike and stuff like that, a game that we used to play. And he chopped the Bellagio Cup after the World Series in 2006 with Shannon. And it was 3 21-year-olds. Danny, Shannon, and another guy named Michael something from a different country, right? We never saw him again. He was a great player, but we never saw him again, right? I don't know what that was about, right? But that's how I knew Shannon. And I was like, oh, Shannon. And he ended up winning it. You know, they chopped it, and the third place just went home, and Danny and him played heads up for the title, and Shannon won. And from that moment on, I was like, man, like if these guys could do it, like I could do it too. So like, I mean, I looked up to Shannon since then. You know, like before I had any big cashes. So I was just like, yeah, I knew Shannon for a long time.
And that's crazy. He's over there complimenting you the next day.
Yeah.
We do some rapid fire questions to close out the podcast if you're ready. Biggest pot you've ever won or lost? There's like...
Okay, there's a funny one. I think this might not be the biggest one, but it might be one of the biggest ones.
Well, I know you played in Bobby's room like 500, 1,000 PLO.
Oh, yeah. I played like 4,000 over there.
Oh, really?
Damn, okay.
And then there's a 300K one listed online playing PLO, 200, 400.
It's probably the online one. Probably the online one.
Just give me your favorite one, since you have a billion.
The favorite one is, okay, so I was two-tabling one day. One was 200, 400 PLO. Other one was 2 and 4,000, or 1 and 2,000, or 2 and 4,000 Omaha high-low heads up with Daniel Lai. And I'm just clicking here. We're just playing like late in the night, like 3 a.m.
Those are two very like. How do you play those games simultaneously? Like,
yeah, I'm thinking about that now. Like, what was I doing back there? Right? I don't think that. So
I
wasn't very positive EV thinking about it right now. So what was I doing? You know?
Yeah.
But so I was just playing, and then all of a sudden, like I think I was stuck quite a bit that day, and I was like, I was ready to go off. Kind of. And I got involved in a pot, and the PLO was like a 4-way, 5-way all in, and I had the absolute worst of it. It's online. But it was so bad. I looked at everyone's hand. We're all in, right? I had bottom 2 with a smaller flush draw, and everyone had me just dominated. I closed the table, and I'm playing heads up with Daniel Lai, right? And he types, he's like, "What the fuck? You won the pot." I didn't even know he was watching it, right? I go, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Open the table. Open your other table." I was like, "Okay." I opened it, and I had like 260,000. I'm like, what?
263, 723. Does that seem
might
like a
be
bell?
something like
Did
that.
you have 8743
Yes.
with clubs?
That one, yeah.
Yeah, it's listed online.
I had the 7 in my hand where it came runner. I had the one card. I had the straight. Mm-hmm. That's the only way I won the pot. I think I was up against sets, bigger flush draws, like open ended, and I got the perfect runner.
It's online if you want to look it up. I would, but I don't have internet right now.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good one right there. Best swap or piece you've ever had of anybody?
Ooh.
Because I know you did your own stable didn't work out so well, right?
Yeah. Damn. I don't even know if I should bring this up. Tax purposes. Like I don't fight all the.
How about we speak in generalities?
Yeah. Hold up. This gotta be tripping because I had someone that got 4th in the WPT Championships, but I don't know if I.
Okay, don't say the year. Okay, well maybe you should say.
This is. Oh, you know what? Damn, this is weird.
I'll leave it up to you what to disclose. You could just say you had a big piece of a 25K final table list.
Yeah. So I had a big piece of a 25K final table list, and I'm gonna keep his name anonymous. Yeah.
And that was the biggest one you had that came through
that was
for you?
the biggest one. Yeah.
Was this somebody who came through for you consistently, or that was a one-off?
It was consistent for a couple months. When I was having pieces of him.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
Yeah, but he was the most consistent for sure. He won a bracelet before.
Now we're getting all the clues.
Yeah, I might have taken his name.
Narrowing it down a little bit.
Asian. Vietnamese. Okay.
Who's the best poker player we've never heard of? So this is somebody you want to shout out who maybe didn't get all the credit.
David Vu.
Vu. The reason we're in this room right now.
Yep. Putting you out there now.
No.
Anybody on the cash game side that maybe doesn't
best player that we never heard of
get in the limelight?
Damn. I've been staying out of that for a while. But you know what? Let me give some shout outs to, Thor Hansen, God rest his soul. Gavin Smith, rest his soul.
Man, when you say it like that, we were talking about Ryan too.
Ryan, yeah, it's like
crazy people.
That was this past year, those two. It's like.
Do you think about poker mortality at all? The lifestyle, what it does to people?
Yeah, I mean,
especially when you're older. There's no retirement plan in poker.
yeah, I mean the life expectancy is way lower, right, for poker players. Like technically I should have been gone years ago, but I got saved. I got very extremely lucky that I've been given a second chance, especially mentally and physically, because they're connected, right? And yeah, it's, I mean, poker mortality. It's
the stress alone. I mean,
stress, like,
not a,
just like antisocial personalities that it creates, social anxiety, because you're like paranoid, like they catch me bluffing, like all this crazy stuff that poker makes you go through. Like,
I was talking to Bonham on this podcast, and he was talking about how he had trouble turning off his poker brain when he wasn't playing poker. Like when he'd have a conversation with people, he was always thinking about how to optimize his play, what he says, and like what would make his image the best. And like he just realized one day, oh, I'm not at a table. Do you have that trouble too?
I had that trouble before when I was younger. But it's funny, Bono brought that up because like over the years I saw him change. He wasn't like that anymore. Because like me and him, we started off together, and we swapped quite a bit for a bit, and I saw his progression, like as a person. Like it wasn't like he was more loose about it.
Yeah.
That's the growth, right? And yeah, like something clicked. And he's like, oh, I don't have to think this way, feel this way, like at all times. And yeah, it used to be.
I think he took the opposite approach you did of going completely clean, though. He's more of a Burning Man type of guy.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for him. Didn't work for me. It's like everyone's different. Whatever.
Well, speaking
works.
of Bonomo, he's at the top of the all-time tournament earnings list. He went on an insane heater last year. Is that your ambition one day? What do you want to do in poker? To get to the top of the tournament list? You want to be a consistent cash game grinder? Do you want to get out?
Yeah, I want to surpass everybody with so much though that nobody will ever catch up.
That'd be nice.
We'll see where that goes, but that's always been the goal.
My point is, are you still dreaming of $20 million years
through poker?
Anything?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I am. I feel like I am now ready because it took some time for me to rebuild, to not just reprogram, but to become a new version of myself, right? And I feel that we're just now. I feel like I'm just beginning now. It's a new beginning, and it's gonna be a much more sustainable. I'm wiser. I'm more knowledge, and I'm gonna do it the right way now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it the right way. And I feel like I could be the right kind of ambassador going forward, whether it's Korea, whatever happens over there, or Asia, or just anywhere, whatever, whether it's in poker or somewhere else. And it's exciting, and I'm ready.
Yeah. Oh, if you don't go through the hardships, you don't appreciate the wins later on, right?
Exactly.
What was your worst job before poker? You mentioned in and out. I imagine cleaning out the fryer grace is pretty bad.
Oh, no, I wasn't at the level to do that. I didn't work long enough to be able to do that. I was trying to get there, but they wouldn't.
You ever took any odd jobs around college time or anything like that?
I used to teach a bunch of little Korean kids, like they're like 5 to 7 years old. Like teach them how to read, do their help them with their homework,
Mr. Song, I need help with my problem.
Yeah, I was a pretty strict disciplinarian at the time. And
here's a question: why your name isn't really Steve? What is it, Sukmin?
It's typed Sukmin, but it's pronounced Songmin. So
Songmin.
So it's basically Songmin.
Songmin.
Two songs.
Okay. Because you start with the last name first.
Last name is first. Yeah, last name is first. But the Suk or Suk, it's pronounced Song. So it's strange. I don't know what that's about, to be honest. Yeah, that's what it is.
Why you settle on Steve?
Oh, the Steve thing is when I moved here in '92. Like we're in a car.
Steve Austin.
If I was older, I would have named myself Steve Austin. That's why Steve is. But my dad was like, my first name is Sok. What is it? Sok Min starts with S. He's like, oh, how about my dad? One day in the car, was like, yeah, how about Steve? I was like, whatever, Dad. Just whatever you choose. Whatever. I'm fine. That's how it happened. He was just like, let's make it Steve. I was like, that's cool. Steve.
Yeah, it starts with an S.
Yeah, you're the dad. Just make my name. You know.
Yeah. I'm surprised you weren't a more opinionated 7-year-old picking out your name, but
I would have if it was now I would have chose a different. I might have chose a different name.
Yeah.
Like Steve never really stuck with me.
Yeah.
To me too. Like just like it feels weird sometimes. Like people call me Steve. I've had it for like almost 30 years thinking about it, but.
I like the Steve Sung. SS, both one syllable. I think it works. It could also be a Sam though.
I wanted to change my name, but we'll see what happens with that. But I was on drugs when I was thinking this. One more name, game over. That was the name.
You're just gonna be the new Sting.
I'm just gonna be.
What if you just went by
over.
Sting Sung?
Take the song. Oh, that'll be copyright. Can't be Sting.
If not for poker, what would you be doing?
Well, if not for poker, what would I be doing?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a scary question to a lot of people.
I think maybe if I had a kid, what would I be doing? No, if I was younger. No, but I don't know, man. Like, if it wasn't for poker, I would... Damn. Because I really don't like to work. So I don't know what I would be doing.
You have that in common with every poker player.
Professional gamer. I could have been professional. Yeah, I mean,
You're mid-30s. You don't have the reaction time to do that anymore.
That's true. Yeah. I guess I have to go into the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Movie star.
Do movies.
Rap producer.
Producer. Record label owner. CEO.
Mogul in general. Just mogul.
Yeah. Mogul. That's the goal, I guess. If it wasn't for poker.
Favorite tournament destination. And you've been all over, so gotta have a favorite, right?
I want to say Bay 101, but you know what? Let's leave it at Vegas.
Yeah.
WPT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bellagio or
Mirage? No
Mirage?
More. No more. That was my favorite.
There's a throwback. No more poker at the Mirage.
WPT Mandalay Bay.
That's right, Mandalay Bay. That was one. Headphones on at the table, and if so, what are you listening to?
I listen to whatever I feel like at the time. It could literally, I could be listening to classical music, hip hop, R&B.
Did you play an instrument growing up?
I was forced to play flute.
At least no man can just admit I played flute. They have to clarify it by saying somebody forced me. There was a gun to my head. That's the only way I would ever put that thing in my mouth.
You know what? I had another kid named Elliot. Shout out to him because he's like a big rock star now.
Mm-hmm.
Like he literally is. But we were the two guys. We were fucking forced to play the flute by our mom. We're always talking about this thing as a fourth grade, and I mean we're pretty damn good at it, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna play, you might as well rock out.
I mean, when I became, I started playing. I played poker. He became a rock star. That flute experience got him to be a rock star. Like he was like, never again.
At least you didn't talk him out of it. At least you could have been like, this is terrible, man. Music isn't for us. And the world would never have gotten his gift.
Yeah, but the way we were talking back then.
You're his David. That's the way it is.
That's his twin brother's name is David. They're both rock stars. That's funny how you said that.
Okay, we close the podcast the same way every time with a question from the random question generator. Oh, wow. You're not going to get... This is funny. What is the sexiest and least sexy name you can think of?
Oh, I think you asked me about a poker player. I was like,
we can keep it to poker. That'd be fun.
No.
Which poker player has the least sexiest name, and which poker player has the sexiest name?
Oh, you sexy his name?
Yeah, name.
Oh,
what did you think I said?
I didn't even hear. I just started. I kind of like shut out what you said after. Okay, so which poker player has the sexiest name and the least sexiest name?
That's what your question is. Although I just made it into poker. Would you pick Steve?
Absolutely not.
Steve isn't sexy?
I have to choose a female name, right? Let me see. Yeah, female name.
To you.
Sexy. Oh, let's give out some shout outs to my
Let's see here.
I'll give a shout out to Liv. Liv. That's a pretty sexy name. Liv.
I always wonder why she didn't go by Olivia. Olivia was like the number one baby name last year.
You know why? I think Olivia. I had a crush on a girl named Olivia when I was a little kid. Maybe that's why I like that Liv. But Oh, it's funny you brought
Also,
that
there's Olivier Bousquet.
Oh, that's a very sexy name right there.
That's a sexy man name.
That's
right
a sexy
there.
man name. That should be like an MMA fighting name right there.
I mean, he looks like one, and he's got like that, you know,
He won a
French
side
movie
bet.
star name.
Right? He won the side bet against one of my buddies.
Oh, in the fight?
Yeah, remember the MMA fight?
Yeah, I remember somebody came out looking very bloody afterwards.
Oh yeah, that was like a real fight. And then the least sexiest name. Phil Ivey? I don't know. Let's see, the least sexiest name.
Sam Grizzle.
Oh, Sam Grizzle. That's a sexy name. No, I was kidding.
Eskimo Clark. I'm just
Oh, God rest his soul.
I'm
Eskimo
just thinking
Clark.
another. Oh man, we're bringing up all the bad ones.
Man.
I won't let you throw anybody under the bus.
Okay, yeah, I won't throw anyone else.
We'll leave it at that. Steve,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and good luck.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully you get that WPT title.
Yes, crossing my fingers and doing the best that I can.
That's it. That's the show. I'm sorry to disappoint all of the Steve fans out there, but he did not end up winning the Gardens Poker Championship. He did, however, pick up $260,000 for finishing third. So congratulations to Steve on that one. If you want to follow Steve on Twitter, you can find him at ssung41585. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at cardplayermedia or at poker_stories. If you like the show, then please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You'll get 26 episodes each year and a backlog of like 60-something podcasts going back now. If you want to go the extra mile, please rate and review this podcast. It only takes a minute, and if you let us know about it with an email to pokerstories@cardplayer.com, we'll thank you with a free digital subscription to Card Player Magazine. Again, leave a rating and review and get a free poker magazine. Pretty sweet deal. Thanks for listening.